This week on the Big Boss Book Club, I'm talking to returning guest Kappolo. We're going to be answering those critical questions that you've probably been asking yourself, like what are the best cards in Bright Lights? Which hero is going to do the best out of the three? And will Rhea Ripley beat Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship? All that and more this week on the Big Boss Book Club. Welcome to this week's show. Okay, so as people may know, if they've listened to the show for a while, if not, go back and listen to the very first Flesh and Blood episode I ever did. I talked quite a lot about how the character Dash was what really made me start buying the Flesh and Blood card game. Unfortunately, as it goes, sometimes the first one in is in fact the first one out. And I recently, before the release of the latest Flesh and Blood set, Bright Lights, sold all my Mechanologist cards for a pretty reasonable amount of money, simply to make space. So with Bright Lights being a massively Mechanologist focused set, I haven't really had much time to really dive into it. But with the latest Flesh and Common Blood League coming out, I thought maybe it would be nice to bring back a return guest. Our first outing was hit by loads of technical issues, and I'm hoping this time we'll get away with very little to none. Kappolo, welcome back to the Big Boss Book Club. How's it going, good sir?
Hey Tom, thanks for having me back. Everything is being awesome. Happy about Bright Lights has been great just because of my love for the Mechanologist class and how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, before we even dive in, there's probably like a few things really. So, congratulations, you finally got a spoiler.
Thank you. Took me only 2 years and a half.
Yeah, like I had this conversation a while ago with Az, and I was like, I always feel like I get angry on people's behalf when they haven't been given like a spoiler card. And you were one of those people that I was like getting angry on their behalf. I was just like, why has this man got a spoiler card? My God, this is the Mechanologist set. And then it's like, hey, Kappolo's got a card. And I was like, hey! Like if anyone deserved one. How did that come up? Did they reach out to you and were like, hey, can we send you something? What was the process behind that?
It was weird because they kind of forgot about me. They forgot to send out they did not forget about me, but they forgot to send the email out. So when everybody got their email, and I was like, I did not get it. And so people asked me, do you get a spoiler? And I said no. And then like a lot of people like got like huge horde of people on Twitter asking Alex to give me a spoiler. And then it's like Alex like, oh shit, I forgot to send the email. But then I got the email that I was getting a spoiler.
Nice.
And I did not know what it was. But at the time I was in Japan on vacation, so I kind of like recorded a couple of scenes, like me talking to Gundam and just wandering around. And then I got the spoiler, like, and then like the day after I shot like the last final shots of the spoiler video. Nice. And I was luckily I had Greg helping me with the editing because I was traveling with like a really old and crappy laptop.
Oh.
I tried to edit on it and was not working. So I had Greg helping me with the video, but I feel like the video in the end turned out pretty fun.
Yeah. Quick random offshoot. You did go to Japan. You went to one of the things that stood out for me was Disneyland. Went to Disneyland.
Yes.
How was that?
Awesome. I have to say that I really dislike the Disneyland, the ones I've been to in the US. So lots of people, really expensive and long lines. Whether in Japan was like really cheap to get a Disneyland ticket. I think it was like around $50 US. So I don't know how much it's in pounds, but probably like 40 something pounds.
But probably about 40, 45, maybe 46, something like that. The exchange rate's not too different at the moment, I don't think.
And the park was quite empty. I mean, it was full, like all the attractions, the lines were like an hour to 2 hours, especially the new attractions, like the lines were 2 hours. But wandering around was like really beautiful, well maintained, and was felt almost empty at points in certain areas, which was
Oh, okay.
nice.
Have you ever been to Paris?
I have not been to Paris.
I've been twice. I took the family. When did we go? Oh my god, it was March. Before my second son was born. I was like, I'm not paying for four of us. I'll pay for three of us. I'm not paying for four of us. So I took the family there, and yeah, I got angry so many times. It's like lots of people, lots of rude people, just barging into you all.
It feels like the same experience that I have in the US. But
Oh,
also, I'm not really a fan of like most of Disney IPs. I
no.
feel like I care about like Star Wars, Marvel, Toy Story, Lilo and
Nice.
Stitch, and like a lot of the other things I really don't care about. So it's like for me, it was mainly like my fiance really wanted to go, so it's like, yeah, let's go. And I think I had more fun than her.
Oh, you see, I was thinking when we were there because I was like, when the first day we got there really late, so we ended up getting there pretty much just as the parade was starting, like the end of day parade was starting. So my little lad was like proper like into it, and that was kind of cool. But at the same time, I was like, like proper like. I think at times I was probably more excited than him, and the missus was just kind of like lumbering around at one point. It was a bit funny. That does bring me into another quick segue as well. Very congratulations on your pending nuptials, my friend.
Thank you.
And I saw the pictures. She looked chuffed. Like she like this smile on that woman's face. He's like, how was that very much pre-planned? Because or is it kind of
Uh,
like let's do it while I'm here?
no, was like was a bit planned, but not completely. Kind of just some hints of like, but nothing really. Because she doesn't like
Uh,
surprises, so it's like
uh,
I have to kind of put the bug into her ears. Like, yeah, maybe it's happening. Just be prepared, just in case.
it's like a Saw film. You're just dropping subtle hints all the way through the film, and then suddenly at the end you go, "Ah, that's what he was talking about." How long you guys been together?
That's a bit more than 2 years, so not too
Oh,
long,
okay,
but
that's cool.
not short time either.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, though, dude. That's like super awesome. When I
Thank
saw it,
you.
I was like, okay, we need to get the congratulations. I did want to, a part of me wanted to do wanted to try and make a joke here about, but more importantly, you got a flesh and blood spoiler. Um, all these other things, they're a thing. But, oh, wow, that's really awesome. Um, yeah, so congratulations to you both. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And the
Thank
Disneyland
you.
stuff looked awesome. And yeah, and finally, a spoiler. Finally, like hopefully we'll see more of that moving forward for you as well.
I don't know because I don't know if they're like using me in the future for Mac stuff or other stuff because I spoke with Alex afterwards. He really liked my spoiler video,
Oh, cool.
so hopefully that's might be a chance for me to having some more spoilers in the future. Who knows?
As got a mechanologist spoiler. I don't even think if you asked him to tell you the text on Tecloplasma Pistol, I don't think he could do it. My goodness. Like if you asked him what every Azalea card does, he can tell you. In fact, actually actually, it won't matter because by the time this comes out, Bravo Bros will have aired. There's a part where he in Bravo Bros that we recorded where he's talking about like good cards, good Ranger cards, and he's like, yeah, Rangers have got like some of the best cards in the game. They've got Three of a Kind, they've got Codex of Frailty, got Red in the Ledger, and me and Pascal just both start going into like giggles because we're like, You just said read in the ledger. it's like it's like what? And yeah, so it's just really funny. But yeah, like he like has got a spoiler, my friend. I think you're on track to be getting some more, which is absolutely fantastic.
We'll
Um,
see. It's not like spoiler is nice to have, but it's not like I need to have a spoiler. So I'm gonna do like my content whenever I can.
mm,
A lot busy lately for in my life, but besides that, I'll try to do my videos as much as I can. Spoiler or no spoiler, it's not gonna change
yeah,
what I do besides the spoiler video, I guess.
yeah. I get that. That's cool. Cool. So we'll jump in. So obviously, the latest season of the Commoner League's kicked off. Both you and myself have opted to not throw our hats in the ring this time. What was your sort of logic for that?
Planning wedding.
Are you
I
already on that? Already on the?
I mean, the wedding is gonna be in like 10 months from now, but we just like
Oh
secured the location for next year, and now we're like trying
wow!
to trying to find photographers and cake and like
Oh
flowers. And, but yeah, so that's been busy, and I joined what's there is the league with the commons and rares. I don't know if you are aware of that.
uh, well, the Clash format.
No, it's not Clash. It's just common and rares. Clash you can play
Oh okay.
Majestics that are specialization, but like
Yeah.
Crowning Moons is running that league, and I joined for fun, and it's like I don't have time to play. It's like I'm
Mm,
coaching rugby, so like 3 days a week I'm like going for rugby. Then I try to go to Armory every now and then when I can, and then I have other plannings. So it's like it's been rough for me just playing one league, and I
uh,
don't have too much time, and sometimes it's like also like time zone differences makes a lot of like
yeah.
issues.
That was an issue for me. Not so much last season, but the season before that I played in, the time zone thing was a big thing for me because I was like, there was a couple of games where I was up at like midnight, like 1 o'clock in the morning playing, and when you've got at the time only one kid, but even when he's waking you up at 5:30 every morning, going, "Daddy, it's like it's not time to sleep. It's time to go downstairs." It's like, oh God, come on. I was up till 2 this morning playing Flesh and Blood. Can you just leave me alone? So yeah, it's I know what you mean. Yeah, because I very similar for me. This at the moment I don't have time to play at all really, and we've got the shop due to open in hopefully at the time of recording this, hopefully about 2 weeks. Um, so my evenings at the moment are going to be spent painting and decorating and building flat pack furniture.
Nice.
which is I said this to my partner the other day. I was like, do you know what? I didn't realize when I first said to myself I'm going to open up a game shop. I did not think for 1 minute it was going to be this stressful. I thought I'll get my loan, I'll get my stock, I'll get my furniture, it'll all be great. No, forms to fill in, like so many different taxes to register for. It's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, unfortunately, Commoner League has unfortunately had to take a hit this season. Um, but have you recovered from our game last time? I mean, um,
That was a beating.
I brought it up with Chris in our last episode. I was just saying, like that Dory list you gave me, like Kappolo did not did not approve.
I was ready for like exchanging like, yeah, you attack me with the sword, and block with 2 cards, and attack with 2 cards. It's gonna be easy. And now you went like full control, and then when you cannot, like the giant axe comes in for like 10 or 11, and it's like, what can I do?
Yeah, you know what? I must admit, I actually had a lot of fun with that list. I had more fun than I thought I would, because I was like, when Chris said to me, like, I've got this Dory Axe list that we've been trying, and it seems okay. And I was just like, I'll try it. I don't want to play Oldham this season. I want to play something different. And he's like, yeah, I'll send you the list. And I played it actually until it lost. I think maybe round 3. I think, when it lost. So I was just like, yeah, it's done now. But I did have a lot of fun with that deck.
Yeah, I did play one round with your list and it was fun.
Yeah, because people don't expect, like you said, they don't expect it, do they? You kind of like, you see Dory and you think sword swing. You think, oh, you're gonna hit me a couple of times with the sword. It's going to be fine. They may get a token, they may not get a token, but it doesn't. You don't expect to see an axe and then just be like, well, I might swing it on my turn, but I might just block everything out.
Yeah, it was a good deck.
Yeah, props to Smithville Gaming on X for the Dory list. Titanium Bauble, I still think is a bonkers card.
Yeah, a friend of mine played at the Pro Tour.
Oh, you should do it. Do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then the guy did Levire as well. He played Titanium Bauble and it didn't
yeah,
he?
it's a local of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I nearly had a game against him actually. I on Talishar, because he's got like a really silly long username, hasn't he?
yeah.
And it came up like, and then he dropped out the room. So I was like, oh, okay, fine, fine, don't play me then. Don't even think I was playing Bravo. Don't even think I was playing anything overly offensive. Um, cool. So we'll dive in. Bright lights on a scale of 1 to holy cow. How excited were you when they announced an all mechanologist set?
Of course, I was like super excited at the beginning. This is gonna be like awesome. A lot of new tools. Yeah, of course, with like every set that comes out, it's like most of the cards are like don't work on old strategies, and you kind of need to move it to like new strategies. Like Dash, the old Dash did not really get too many tools.
No.
I feel like it's like the same old. Yeah, you get like Twin Drive. You have options of like 3 attacks for 0 resources and 4 attacks for 1 resource that you can swap cards around. But besides that, like Dash did not get much. I mean, you can play with the new items, but I did not like them.
Yeah, it didn't feel. It didn't feel like. Yeah, it didn't feel like they were suitable. Or if you, almost like, it's nice that there's some new stuff, but does it really gel? Almost like, the people may disagree with me here. I'm still very reluctant to move away from Saber's combo Bolton. It's nice that we've got a headpiece. It's nice that we've got a chest piece. The new arm is cool. It's nice that they've given a bit more of a push to go Raiden. I'm still very, very reluctant to move away from Saber's combo, because I still think it's the best way of playing Bolton. And it kind of feels a little bit similar now, because we were looking through some of the commons, because we were building some commoner decks to give away to people. And I bought like a bulk box of commons from Bright Lights. And we're just looking through everything, and it all kind of feels like, let's take the stuff from Arcane Rising, make it 1 point worse, and then print it.
I think for Commoner Dash, actually, like you can build her completely different because with the previous cards, like Dash in Commoner was relying a lot on the 2 cost attacks. Whether
Yeah.
with the new cards you can like shift your curve to be like slightly lower to the ground and have multiple attacks per turn,
Mm.
and probably like build it more with like overblast in mind, so you can do like 3 attacks in
Yes.
overblast.
Yeah, because you've got multiple. You've got the 0 to 50, isn't it? The new one, 0 to 50, which is 0. Then you've got a new load of 1 costs that are all boost. So I suppose, yeah, Overblast seems like a joined by the cat. I like it.
Yeah.
Um, um, yeah, so it feels like, actually that kind of makes sense in Commoner. Um, what about the new heroes? So,
So I was really, really excited about like Teklovossen.
hmm,
and then like I feel like nobody figured out how to build it decent, but doesn't feel that strong.
No, I'm still confused of whether or not it's supposed to be Tony Stark or well, like Robert Downey Jr. or Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm still a little bit confused when I see his artwork. I I am very tempted to try and find a copy of Singularity just because I like the evil Ultron.
Yeah, the
Look,
shadow mechanologist.
the shadow mech. As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god!" I'd already sold all my mech stuff. I was like, "No," but I realized it doesn't. The shadow thing doesn't even make a difference because you can't pack
Yeah,
shadow cards in. So
yeah,
it's an aesthetic choice at best rather than an actual. You're not going to see Tekla running Ghostly Touch. No, not Ghostly Touch.
shadow
Ah,
puppetry.
Shadow Puppetry. No, what's the attack? Oh, it's evaded. It's gone out of my brain. The one for five attack. Play it from your banish zone. That
Uh,
Ghostly Touch is the hand
the
piece, isn't it, for
visit.
illusionist?
It was a ghostly visit.
Ghostly Visit. That sounds right. Yeah. So imagine like
Or the
mech.
other one, the one that you can like banish a shadow card and it's a 6 for 0 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It's rare. I forgot the name of the card, but it's like a rare. It's like you can banish a card from your hand instead of paying 6 cost, and
Yeah.
then if you banish a shadow card, you get resources.
Yeah, Soul. That's Chains card, isn't it? Soul Reaping. Soul
I
Soul Reaping, I think it is, because I think is you've got the two, haven't you? You've got Soul Harvest and Soul Reaping. I think Soul Harvest is Levia's card. But yeah, imagine something like that in Mechanologist. That'd just be horrendous. Um, yeah. What about Max?
I think Max looks pretty solid. I haven't had a chance to actually build a desk. I was about to build like Dash.io for like the future since it didn't have any more pro quests, but Max seems pretty solid. You can assemble like the what's it called, the mecha, the nitro mechanoid pretty reliably with him, and that looks
Okay.
pretty good to me.
Uh, I like the Hyperdriver thing. I'm a big fan of Hyperdriver. And the fact there seems to be loads of cards now, especially thanks to Bright Lights, that are like, hey, if you control Hyperdriver, this card, a little bit better. Like,
Yeah,
and they're always cheaper, which
they're
is,
still like the same rate as like the Arcane Rising cards
yeah,
because you have like Jumpstart that is basically like zipper hit if you have a hyperdriver.
yeah, because it's one for five, isn't it? And then what's the, I had it up on my screen a minute ago because I was looking through some of the cards before we started. Um, which one is it? Oh, there's one. It's like a 3 for 6, and if you've got Hyperdriver, it's one less. Is it Big
Yes, I
Bertha?
don't know the
Is that the
name.
one? Big Bertha?
No,
No,
Big
that's
Bertha
not
doesn't
necessarily.
have discount. I think Big Bertha you got a Steam counter
Rev
on
Up.
a crank item. Yeah.
Yeah, Rev Up. That's the one. Rev Up costs one less to play if you've got Hyperdriver. It's a 3 for 6, and it's pretty cool artwork as well, like the cool bike on it, which is sweet. But yeah, like I think, especially for commoner, because I've basically sat down with these commons. I was like, haven't really paid any attention to them. I need to construct giveaway decks for people, and they need to not suck, so people will want to play this game.
Okay, so don't build Tekla. I think Tekla is going to be unplayable in Commoner, but I think Max and Dash could be decent in Commoner, and
Mm.
also I think Data Doll could actually be decent in Commoner too.
Yes, especially now. I need to get a spare data doll. I think I don't have one anymore because obviously I sold it. Um, little
I've been
part.
playing with Data Doll.
Oh, have you? In
Yeah, I've
the
been playing it in Blitz,
okay, how's it been
but like
faring?
I think, I mean, it's like a bit unreliable just because you have to have the right, you have to have the boost cards in hand and banish the items. But if you hit one of the microprocessor, it gets really good. It can get like stupidly good. I've I've done the math. I think you can prevent 33 damage
Oof.
only from items and equipment if you hit them correctly.
That's pretty cool. I have
And
only
it's almost sorry, just one thing. It's like most of the cards besides the microprocessor are actually commons.
yeah, this set put out quite a few common item cards. That was something that I found quite interesting. Um, which ones are you generally putting in data, Dolo?
I was about to do a tier list of items like after
Oh,
this podcast, but I think
don't do it tier. Don't do it tiered then. Just save
uh,
that for your own
I think
channel.
like dissipation shield, dissolving shield, mini force field. Those are like the main like
Okay.
damage prevention. And
E-
then you have a couple of them that are like more offensive, but like the script, like penetration scripts. I think it's the card, the yellow one, that's quite good. And then you have boom grenades.
yeah, boom grenades. Yeah, what do you think of Hadron Collider?
The card is good.
Yeah, because I've built like I said, I've building Commodore decks to give away, and I've actually put that as a bit of an experiment. I've actually built Dash and used that as the item that comes out at the beginning. I just thought,
Yeah, I
bugger
mean,
it, just out the
it's just like
gate.
a +4, so it's like it's not the, and then goes away. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah,
But Iron Collider is good because even if you draw it, you can just play it
mm.
and crank, and then you attack for like +3.
Yeah. Still pretty useful. I do like. What do you think of the crank mechanic?
Confusing,
Yeah,
but it's tricky. I don't mind it because like you can get like extraction points or you can do like some tricky stuff. Especially, I like it if you play with adaptive plating. Of course, that's not available in Commoner.
no,
But you can play your item, you get your action point, you do whatever, and then the item is still there with like 0 counters. So you can like use it for like all the galvanize effects, which I don't think galvanize per se is a really great mechanic, but on adaptive plating is amazing.
yeah, because that was something else I noticed when I was looking through the cards. Actually, because there's that one card, isn't there? Oh no, sorry, that's a different mechanic that I'm thinking of there. So I'm thinking of the tectonic force field. I'm thinking like, what a garbage card. It's like only useful blocking against overpower. Like what?
I mean, it's really good in limited because I feel like I haven't done much limited because of the store close by closed down, and
Oh wow,
then
okay.
didn't have much time. But overpower is actually how you win most of your games, just because like all the EVE equipment are actually action cards, so you cannot block with them, and a card from hand. So
Yeah.
overpower is like actually the way to
Get
get
through.
most of the win in limited.
Okay. Again, I showing my totally I've not played any limited since Outsiders. And I only did the one pre-release. That's my limited experience in Flesh and Blood. Okay, but I know I know Overpower did start making an appearance because it's on the mech, isn't it? The from my god, my brain Dynasty.
Yeah,
The that's got Overpower, hasn't it? When it attacks,
does it?
I'm sure it does.
I don't remember.
Oh,
My
what
memory
happened
is
today?
bad, but it could have overpowered.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's got overpower. Sounds like.
I know the
Um,
Anabi Blaster has overpower. That's the shotgun
yeah,
from
from Dynasty as well,
Dynasty
isn't it?
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You think I'd remember these things, wouldn't you? Um, Proper brain fog at the moment. I don't know if it's I'm just tired all the time. So I was like two kids. Oh, two kids. Anyway, I complained enough about that. Anyway, yeah. So then we've got the new Dash IO slash Dash database. What are your thoughts?
I thought, I think it has potential. We have, like, at the moment of recording, there was like a one that was doing really well at the in
7-0.
Australia.
Yeah, 7-0 at pro calling.
Calling, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, it looks powerful because it kind of forces you to block, because you can get punished if you don't block, or you don't block enough, just for like boom grenades, and you can get really aggressive.
Hmm.
But I feel like it's gonna be hard to build a well list. I haven't seen that list, so hopefully I can get to copy it and play it. But you need to build like a solid list, and also like every item you have in hand is a liability.
Yeah, because a lot of them, in fact, do any of them block? I don't think any of them do
No,
they? No, they don't.
sadly not.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a poison, a double-edged sword there, isn't it? I do like the idea that you can play them instantly and then crank them to gain an action point. I do find that really
Yes.
interesting. So you just build this. It feels like that someone's just building a load of action points and then firing like I don't know, like playing 3 Hadron Colliders and then throwing a 0 to 60 at you at the end and not boosting, just firing like I don't know if that's how it wins. I'm quite interested to see how it plays myself because the legalized cheating is quite cool. I like the idea of legalized cheating. Let me just keep looking at the top card of my deck. Um, I've
The main idea of the deck is that you get good amount of action points by getting either items from the top or from your hand and
mm,
load the pistol. Because the new pistol, like when you play an item that costs 2 or less, you put a counter on it,
mm,
and then you don't pay resource and you shoot for 2. So if you get a lot of action point, you can like extend your chain and then like shoot with the pistol like 2 or 3 times at the end of every turn.
yeah, because let's look. What's the remove a counter from this attack? Whatever mechanologist enters the arena has fewer than 16 counters. You may put a steam counter on it. What a absolutely cracking card.
I think they're preventing for the there is a spell that like bounces and resets your items, so they don't want probably to abuse that card.
No. Do you? Because with it being a dash specialization, just kind of think like, are they going to do something that will make it so normal dash can be a little bit more has a reason to run it? Do you know what I mean?
I don't think there is any reason,
Mm,
because you're not playing many items, so you're not gonna have many counters.
no, not like Bolton. Don't think they're going to try and push you down that avenue. Mm. I'm not. I'm telling you. I'm saying it. I'm not moving away from Saber's combo. I love it. Exodia obliterate. It's the way forward. I'm telling you. Um,
I mean, bolting is always scary. I had nightmares, like especially at playing Dash, since because Dash doesn't have any like relevant on hits besides like very few cards. So kind of bolting can like tank the damage and set up for like the combo. And then I remember like getting almost like killed from 40 because of the combo.
yeah. I mean, what does Dash? Well, Mech have really combustible courier.
Yeah, that's
Um,
about it.
this one, the picture. It's a really weird picture. And it's like if this hits your next boosted attack gets dominate.
Yeah,
True.
but I mean, it's on hit, but like it's kind of almost like never relevant. Like
Yeah.
you don't have like many cards that actually get that benefit from dominate.
Yeah, let's face it. I mean, the main thing there that you probably would want to chuck already has dominate because it's payload.
Yeah.
It already has dominate, so it doesn't need you to give it dominate. It already has it. So yeah. Oh yeah, fair enough. Which one of the heroes in the set do you think is the one you want to look at, like really, really focus on, and why is it Dash?
So my answer would have been Teklavasen, but I feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna be hard to find like a good build for it. But like Dash looks fun. I don't know. I like to play with items,
Yeah.
and I've seen like somebody like play it locally at the ProQuest. They did okay, and
Yeah.
like seeing like doing well at the calling is like I kind of want to build it.
And James White posted about it. I mean, the guy doesn't post much on X, so when he's posting a what are they called now? X X exclamatives or something. I don't know.
I
When
have no idea.
Yeah, when he's posting on X, formerly known as Twitter, and he's like, "Hey, this Dash IO deck 7-0, call in, clock it." I think that feels like a little bit of a big deal. Like maybe they didn't see
Yeah.
that coming. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on in their testing teams and like because I feel like we are missing a lot of what they are doing, and they also are missing a lot of what the community can do because like community you have like thousands of people trying to build a deck
Mm.
or like break it. They have like less resources, but also they have more insight on like how the cards are good or bad, and like, 'cause I feel like
Yeah,
if they print an hero, I feel like they think they have a chance to win something because otherwise, like, why do we print?
yeah. I would say it's like actually it's funny you say that because we were talking about this on something on Bravo Bros. We could probably do something similar in regards to Data Doll. Like we were talking about the new Prism. Like new Prism came out with a lot of hype. Has less health, so when they have less health, you usually think, "Holy cow, they've got to be good," because only the annoying people have less health. Um, and then Prism's just not really done anything. Kind of just fallen to the wayside. Where I suppose in this mech, it's Data Doll. Data Doll has 3 hand size. Literally, I don't think I've only ever lost one game against Data Doll, and that was actually against Andrew Mason. And me and him, we did an extra game. So our first game ended that quickly that we played a second game after, and he managed to pull it off and had like all these items out and was like just pew 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 and just going off and blocking things, opting, drawing, and all this malarkey. And you're just like, stop using items, stop it, and then won. But like, yeah, there's got to be something, hasn't there? Datadog has to win something at some point.
I mean, I think that the doll is quite good right now. I mean, I was able to race and beat like a full-on boost dash with Data Doll.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, but not as many. Not everyone is as talented as you with mechanologist, my friend. That's what.
or lucky. It's just luck. But also, like going back to Prisma, I don't know if you remember like seeing Brian Gottlieb has said that like Prism is actually a really good deck, but nobody has figured it out.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if it's like lying or like trying to like tease us that there is maybe something that is good in there.
Yeah, I've only played against that prism, the new prism. I've only played against it in Blitz, and I've only played against it a couple of times. I beat it both times. The first time I was playing as Bravo. The second time I was playing as KO, and it was the only game I won all day playing as KO, and this poor sod. But it just felt like I was playing against all Prism. It was just like, oh, here's a big Phantasm attack. It's like, mate, I'm playing Brute. I just block, and your card blows up, and then my turn comes, and I do it again. Yeah, it didn't feel like there was anything new, and because it couldn't play Luminaris, the whole go again stuff wasn't there. So just yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to see because whenever you see a hero with lower health, generally the assumption is that that hero is going to be a bit busted because that's the reason you give them lower health, isn't it? Same with Datadog.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Datadog's got less hand size, so you think, oh my god, Datadog's got to be to nuke the hand. Datadog has to be pretty busted. It's just not
I
seen
feel
that
like
level of
with
success.
4 intellect with data doll would actually be really busted.
Mm.
But yeah, 3 intellect is kind of like you cannot afford to block much with 3 intellect.
Yeah.
But also like some heroes that have lower health, I feel like Riptide, I don't think that the lower health in Riptide is because it's better, but it's because he has a built-in mechanism of like unpreventable damage.
Mm.
So they probably try to offset the trap triggering dealing damage.
Random question, completely off the topic of mechanologists, since you've mentioned Riptide. Again, going back to what we were talking about last night on Bravo Bros when we were recording it. Do you think that Riptide sees more prominence moving forward? Because those traps actually they're pretty good if they trigger.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
think the Riptide is pretty good. I mean, I've played it at a battle hardened, and it felt solid.
Hmm.
The problem that I mean, I don't know like how to build like a good Riptide. I built like an aggressive list.
Okay.
Is that when if you get to the second cycle, your hands are like unplayable because you basically try to do everything on the I was playing it wrongly, which is probably the case, but it's like I was playing like pump spell, arrow,
Okay.
and and then like once you and you get to the second cycle, you have like shitty arrows and no pump spells, so you cannot reload like with the ability. So it's like that didn't feel too great. But like in the first cycle, or when you switch to play a bit more control with the traps,
Yeah.
it felt pretty good. But the problem is like against some matchups, like you cannot sit back with traps. You actually need to like push damage, and that's where if they counter you and going a bit more controlly, you're gonna be like kind of anemic the second cycle.
Yeah. So we were talking about last night. We were just saying like if someone went like full fatigue on Riptide, like old him Riptide. It's like, oh, old him, you went green and bigger, but yeah. Would that work? And we're just kind of don't know. I feel like there's potential there, just hasn't necessarily got there yet.
And we just need big brains like testing other decks because I feel like a lot of the teams that like test decks, they test only what is like perceived best. They don't go on like, oh, let's try this like random as try to break it. I feel like they don't do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I talked with a team and it's like back when like Dash was like kind of not the best before like Tackle Pounder still. And I asked them, do you guys ever like test Dash? Do you have any good Dash list since you like guys are playing like 4 hours per night every day of the week? It's like, no, we don't even bother testing Dash because it was not perceived to be like a good deck to invest time. So they were not testing against or like testing with Dash too.
oh.
And this is probably gonna what happening with other heroes like Riptide is kind of underexplored, Teklovostin is underexplored, and like a lot of the decks like are not very explored.
Oh, that's see, yeah. I could go play golf an hour on quote unquote teams. Um, yeah, like I was saying this to someone a while ago. Like, it's it seems obviously there's always a level of skill involved, but I always say it's like it's really funny how you see someone playing a deck and everyone goes, "Oh my god, that's really cool! That's really cool!" And then everyone piles on, but then but then something happens and they realize that that deck isn't the best deck. And then the next time you see said person, he's not playing that deck or she's not playing that deck anymore. He is playing the new top deck. And it's almost like, it's a bit of a shame in a game that has such a variety of heroes that it's almost the same level of representation. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you get folks like yourself who's like, oh, I got Dash, I'm turning up with Dash. Or you got like I've got Azalea, I'm turning up with Azalea. Got Pascal who's like, we got Bravo, I'm turning up with Bravo. Even though now the trait has also got Azuri as well, but that's fine.
I
But
mean, I have other decks built too. I have Riptide, and I have the Iris of Reality Dromai.
I like Iris
That's really
Dromai.
fun.
I do like Irish Dromai. I ran one again before I sold all my Dromai cards. I did run that to an armory, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was actually quite fun. So, any cards in this set that are particularly stand out from any of the rarities? Anything that makes you go, this is the card of the set. Putting you on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Twin Drive is a really good addition just because it enables the maximum velocity and the pulse wave harpoon.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me just go quickly through see the cards.
That's fine.
I think Boom Grenade is also like a good card that is gonna be like a mainstay for like aggressive dash lists.
Yeah, from a commoner perspective, like I've so when I was looking into what cards I want to use for these commoner decks, every single commoner deck I found for Teklevossen, Max, and even the new Dash all had Boom Grenade in. So that shows that it's got to be, there's something in that, isn't there?
Yeah. Also think adaptive plating is a good card that can the backup protocol, especially the red one, I think it's like something that we will see like more because I've seen it played in like a regular dash too, and it looked pretty solid.
Okay.
And other cards, just quickly scrolling.
That's it.
I don't know. I feel like some of them are like kind of hero specific, like heist is for like dash, and you have like fabricate that is like for tech levels.
Oh yeah, there's definitely cards even in the common pool that you look at and go, "This is for this hero. This is not for the others. This is for like is it data link? If it hits, is opt. That's
Yeah,
100% for dash. That's not. Teklevossen doesn't care about that. I don't think. I don't think Max cares about that either.
it all does.
Data Doll loves a bit of data link.
Yeah, I think like firewall, like the pseudo defense reaction, like the block, the red firewall could be
Mm,
see some play in the future too.
yeah. What do you think of scrap? Would because there's a
It's
lot of scrap stuff in this, isn't there?
yeah, it's interesting mechanic, but I think it's like one hero only of like the Clavos.
Yeah.
And I do like the I forgot the name. The zero cost that makes if you scrap an item, you can play it at instant speed.
Oh, is it the compactor? That's the one. Scrap compactor. That's the
Yeah,
magic.
I think that one was pretty good. I played it a bit like with Mr. V's Gary. He was building like a professor deck, and that card was actually pretty good into the professor
From
because you can play.
the TCC box. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because you can play all the nice four cost majestic items for only they only cost three
Mm.
resources instead of four, so it's much more like much better on your resources.
Again, random offshoot. Have you played the TCC box, the round the table?
Yeah,
Yeah. What do you think?
it's I think it's pretty cool. I feel like every deck needs some like touch, but overall it's like a nice experience. There is like good amount of power level, and the decks are built well,
Mm.
and they added some cards which are like I wish they didn't, because if I'm not mistaken, like the professor mentioned that he did not like additional product, like a supplemental product to have cards that are like chase cards,
Yeah.
and then they put in like the boots that like every guardian now needs to have, so they're buying the thing just to get the boots.
Yeah. We again. This is one of the talking points from the that we went into the Bravo Bros episode. I think the boots are garbage, and nobody el- nobody else seems to think that way. But yeah, yeah, I know what you mean, because they had the same problem with Classic Battles, didn't they? Everyone bought
Yeah.
Classic Battles to get Titanium Bauble. I mean, sorry, Glistening Steel Blade. It was like everyone was buying them just to get that card, and it's like it's not it's not then the product you intend it to be, is it?
Yeah, it's like I felt like they should have just geared them more towards like multiplayer, because of course you want to print like unique cards that are for that are in your product, because otherwise nobody's gonna buy it. But like there are few cards that I could see being for like kind of more for like a competitive aspect, like the boots, for example, is one.
There's a red version of a card in the Ira deck, isn't there? That
Yeah, it's
people
like the
it's Bitter in Thorns or something like that. I think. I
let me
can't remember.
see.
Top of my
I'm
head.
like scrolling to them right now. Yeah, bitter in terms.
Yeah, I sold my Ira deck. I literally opened that box and I've sold pretty much all of it. The only thing I've kept is the Guardian cards. Um, and
Now I
I've
want to build a professor list, but like much different, because like the list that they have is mainly like boost attacks, and I want to be more like tanky, I guess.
mm,
Playing with like all the Evo upgrade cards, like Annihilator Engine, and basically like they become a three cost. They attack for 9 with overpower with on hit effect. So that's my main goal.
mm, the not playing as Melody then.
I mean, Melody is cool.
Hit you over the head with a guitar. Have that. Um, yeah, my friend. I basically I bought, like I said, I bought the box, and mainly because I got it way cheaper than what I saw it originally advertised for. Like this website in the UK had it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have that." So I grabbed it, and I tried to watch the. I put it in as his Discord. I was like, "Has anybody tried to watch their video TCC's video of them playing it. People are like, yeah, it was great, what awesome video, and I was like, I don't know what video they were. I feel like I was watching a different video because I had to watch it in like 3 pieces because it kept giving me a headache, and I don't know if that's just not. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I was
Was the
like,
one with like Cedric Phillips and Kyle Hill and Amy?
possible. Yeah, the girl was playing. I didn't get all the names. The girl was playing Melody. The chap with
Yeah,
sort of the weirdish hair was playing Ira. The other lad was playing um, uh, the Guardian.
the Guardian. Yeah,
Yeah, and then
yeah. I watched it.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, I think it was like it was okay, but it's like
mm,
I really don't like gameplay videos. I don't know why. It's like when I started with the game, I like gameplay videos because I can understand.
mm.
But after a bit, it's like I don't care about gameplay video. I think like right now the only gameplay video that I really like to watch is the tree floating one, but
Oh yeah,
not
yeah,
for the gameplay, but for like all the weird stuff they do and all the sketches, and
yeah,
they're quite funny. But I cannot like sit down and like watch a gameplay videos. Like I
yeah.
rather like watch a movie or something. It's like
It's definitely a niche market. I mean, I made the comment. I was like, very well edited. Like the video is beautifully edited. Like from speaking with Red Zone Rogue, it's like my understanding is he has like a team. Like he's got people on payroll who like deal with all this stuff, and it's like, do you know what? Fair play. And he's clearly making the money to do it, which is awesome. But yeah, I don't know. Something about it just gave me a really big headache. And then I was like, oh, I'll go back and watch it. And I started watching it. I started feeling the same. Like my head just started getting a bit like, oh. So I had to watch it in like 3 parts. I mean, yeah. And then I thought, UPF games don't go on this long. They just don't go on this long. They're over well before this.
yeah, I feel like UPF games they go on a bit longish because you have multiple players, but I feel like by turn 3 to 4, people like start dying.
Yeah.
It's really rare. Besides the game that I don't know if you watched the game that we play, Mia's, Tommy and Pat. That game like lasted hours.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh.
But it was like because kind of nobody wanted to kill because like so we are here together. I don't want to like take out anyone and then like be like completely like useless for like the rest of the video and just be there. So we try to like maybe prolong it a bit
Uh,
more than.
extend it. Maybe that was it. Maybe that's one of the things behind it. I was kind of like, oh, maybe I would have just been like, kill, 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 destroy.
I mean, you cannot sell a product and like having like a video of like a gameplay like 3 turns is kind of like
I suppose, yeah. It's a sales pitch as well, isn't it? I guess not
yeah,
just
you
a.
need to sell that you're like having fun for hours instead of like oh you're fun for 3 minutes.
True, true. Yeah, didn't actually think about that from a sales perspective. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I I appreciate it and I like it in a way, but yeah, I've sold everything but pretty much. The playmat I'm chucking into a prize pool for a tournament. Um, the Guardian deck I've kept. I've already sold the Ira. I've got sold Melody. Someone may be having Professor off me as well. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. I like the concept. I just don't know. I'm always very critical. I had this conversation with Az a while ago. I was like, I don't know if it's just me getting older, me getting more bitter, or me just being more critical, just in general. Just something in me is like, there's something wrong with this. If that makes sense.
I mean, I have the same feeling like just getting older, you get more critical, and also it's like you have less and less time.
Yeah.
So like it's like you kind of want to make the most of your time, or if you want to do like just relax or whatever, you just want to just relax and not like waste time watching something. So it's like also for me, it's like if I'm not like even watching something I really want to watch, I'm wasting my time. So it's like I need to pick and choose what to do.
Yeah, that's it. Got to be selective. Um, cool. Anything for commoner that you think? Any for our commoner listeners that you're like? If you're playing mechanologist, guys, you need to have this card in your deck.
Hmm. I mean, not a must to have, but like all the new cheap attacks was like, I think Fender Bender is like the one that I saw that was like nice, but you have a good amount of like equipment matters. Like you cannot block with the equipment, or if they block with the equipment, they get +1. So
Yeah,
those cards are like pretty decent for commoner.
I was thinking that actually. Is Fender Bender the one that gives you that says they can't block, or is that the one that gives them Fender Bender? Ah, yeah, gets plus
It gets
X, where
plus
X is the number of
X, yeah.
equipment. Yeah,
And
you
then
see,
there
I
is the
like
one
that.
that cannot be blocked by equipment, the lay waste.
Lay waste, yeah, and outpace as
Mm,
well. Can't be defended by
yeah,
equipment.
panel beater. So,
Panel beater,
but I feel like
nice.
for commoner, since I mean before the starting item was hyperdriver,
Hmm.
so you can play a lot of like hyperdriver matter card. I don't know which item we will start with, but I feel like hyperdriver is still probably your choice number one for commoner for item.
Yeah, that extra resource is it's critical, and especially now, like you mentioned, with the lower cost curve that you can run, hyperdriver gives you even more like flexibility. You picture blue to play, I don't know, zipper hit, but you can then follow that up with like the next one for 5, and yeah, and you've still got 2 floating resources. You play a 0 to 50 or 0 to 60, and then you slap them with a overblast at the end. Pretty pretty solid, uh, pretty solid turn in commoner anyway.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Some of the cards are like nice for like dash. Yeah, it's like I feel like a lot of this set it felt a slightly better DTD, which is like filler kind of cards that almost everything does the same thing.
Yeah.
Besides like the splashy cards, like a lot of like the attacks do like the same thing. Some of the items do like similar things, and like with Dust Till Dawn, I felt like every light card just decreased the power of attacks
Mm.
for like commons. So I like just I don't know, was not a fan of the how they handle like the DTD because like it's just some nice shadow cards and all the light cards are like either give plus to your attack or minus to their attacks, and it's like I felt like a waste of
Mm.
commons.
Yeah. Dust Till Dawn, I think, was quite a unique set. Um, I like the idea of the Monarch 2, like point or 1.5 or Monarch 2 or whatever. Um, I think the main issue people had with the set as a whole was that they released it like a draftable set, but you couldn't draft with it. You had to use Monarch. It's like, what's the point of this set if you've still got to use that set? Because yeah, it didn't feel like a supplemental set. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So, um, getting probably close to wrapping up. I think couple of questions I do want to ask you. I'm going to date the episode. Have you seen Crown Jewel or read any of the results for Crown Jewel?
I have not. I'm not
Oh
caring too much about like WWE lately,
no.
but I don't know. It's like I've been watching just following a bit AW lately, but
Okay.
I have not seen any Crown Jewel spoilers. I didn't know it was already happening today.
Yeah, because it's in oh,
I know it was early in
whatever
the
it is.
morning, but I don't remember. I thought it was like on a Sunday.
Mm. No, all the PLEs are Saturdays now, aren't they? The PLEs. What do you think about that, by the way? Random offshoot for going from pay per view to PLE. I think
What
it's
is a PLA?
a premium live event.
I mean, I
That's,
didn't like show them on the new WWE network. What's it called, like Peacock or something. I don't think
yeah,
they're like pay-per-view anymore.
no, not in the traditional sense, is it? It's it's a so they've renamed them to premium live events. I just find the concept of a PLE a bit.
I mean, it's nice because like pay-per-views can get like super expensive, especially like sometimes in the US, like a pay-per-view is like $50. Whether like if you
Oof.
get subscription for something, it's much cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming the network there's still like 9.99 a month. I'm assuming.
Did you already watch the results?
I have seen. I've not watched the show, but I have unfortunately activated social media to be bombarded by the results. So,
Yeah, I'm reading the results right now.
um, it's to be honest. I actually see. So I'm in a predictions league on Facebook, and I only got two of the predictions wrong, and I'm calling that a win. And my two highest prediction scores were both right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Um,
Yeah,
if Roman's on the show, it's always like 10 points pin. Roman wins 10 points.
yeah. I'm so I kind of want like LA Knight to win something. I feel like from the little bit that I've been following, it's just like videos about Bloodline and LA Knight, and I feel like he deserves something because it was great in TNA, and it's like now it's here.
Yeah.
It's like it's even better right now than it was in TNA, and it's like give him something.
Yeah, it kind of feels like he's on the rise. So it seemed almost like this felt like almost a bad idea putting him in for the title at like Crown Jewel, because I know that they want it to be seen as like a WrestleMania level event, but it's not. So Roman is not going to the Arab Emirates to lose the WWE title. That will be at WrestleMania when he drops that belt.
Yeah, I feel like he's having the Cody Rhodes treatment. It's like he shows up, it's like, yeah, Cody Rhodes is gonna win the title, and then it's like, oh shit, Roman still won.
Yeah, Roman's still a
Why?
champ. I had Cody winning that event. I had him 10 points, picking up the pin. Boy, was I disappointed at the end of the show.
Yeah, I was rooting for Cody because I mean it's like a big move going from AEW, where he was actually a big part of the backstage.
Mm.
I know like a couple of people that worked in AEW, and
Oh,
they said like
nice.
Cody Rhodes was the main guy there. So was the guy that was like helping all the new guys. He was helping production. He was like basically the main backstage guy.
Oh, wow.
And I was surprised that he actually left AEW for WWE and to get screwed and not getting the title.
Yeah, because it's like, it's great to see him back. And then, oh, you're in the title picture. Great. Awesome. Oh, we lost. It's like, yeah, it's a bit, yeah. I don't know. I hope that they do push him. It feels like there's a little bit of a thingy about they're trying to push too many people at once. You need to kind of let people, like, you've got LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Jay and Jimmy Uso, who are now on apparent singles runs.
Yeah.
It's like there's only so many.
Yeah, Solo is also singles run too.
Solo, yeah, like yeah, Solo. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like. I've been more interested in it lately. I must admit, my interest has peaked more in the last sort of few months. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll throw one final question at you before we get some plugs, and we'll let you carry on with the rest of your actual day. Like me, I can go to bed. Um, it's a wrestling related question. Do you think speaking of Roman Reigns and WrestleMania, do you think it's going to be Rhea Ripley who beats him for the belt?
That would be so awesome. I mean, Rhea Ripley is such a good wrestler and also like really good character, but yeah, I doubt they're gonna have Roman lose to Rhea. Sadly, I would love to see like Rhea just kicked Roman and win.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with some mates of mine. They were like, "Oh, who's going to beat him? Who's going to beat him?" And I was like, "Guys, it's going to be Rhea Ripley." They're like,
I
"What?
wish. I think it's probably gonna be one of the Bloodline guys.
Oh, really? With Jey
I don't know.
Uso?"
Either it's like at this point it's like because I don't see him like doing Cody again, and I don't think they're gonna push Sammy or like KO again against him.
No, I suppose they could give LA Knight another crack at the whip, but he's kind of
I
up
mean,
without the belt, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean maybe Seth Rollins could actually be realistically who gets the title.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
unify the unified belts. No, the ununified unify. Yeah, it'd just be weird, wouldn't it? Or you just end up with Roman with a 15th world title belt. You just keep creating world title belts, unifying them. Just
Yeah.
Or Brock
But what
Lesnar.
if MJF moves to WWE? Since his contract is over next month, maybe just moves to WWE, wins the Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, and beats Roman Reigns.
Oh my goodness! Actually, do you know what? I actually think that would be really cool. I don't think he's leaving AEW. I think he's pretty.
I doubt.
He's pretty. He's got a. He must have a pretty good leverage at this point for a good contract negotiation. Because
Yeah,
he's. I mean, his shoulders must hurt from carrying that company. Like, as cool as
it's weird. In fact, the AEW is so weird. They have so many wrestlers, so much talent, and they just put them like in the sideline. Like we have like, Jay White, probably one of the best heels we saw. I think maybe better than MJF in lately, and now he's just like playing like side tag team match like every couple of weeks. Like, well, it was like a main eventer in New Japan.
Yeah,
like doesn't make. They have way too much talent, and it's like it's weird because a lot of people they have so many wrestlers under contract that is crazy, and they don't. They have only like less TV time than WWE too, and
yeah, because they took over ROH as well, didn't they? So you've got AEW taking over ROH, but then you've still only got the two shows. My understanding was originally that Collision and Dynamite were going to have like two separate rosters, but that's just not happened, has it? They've kind of just
same, yeah.
So you've got the problem like 2000. Oh, what year would it have been? 2002. You got the 2002. Yeah, 2002 WWE had. You got not enough TV time and too many wrestlers to try and showcase. Which Christian needs some more TV time.
So good.
Did
you watch the what they call like the media press after the show?
Oh no.
I think it was when Edge like debuted or something like that.
Yeah.
He's such a like I'm gonna hate him so much guy. It's like his persona is so great of like I don't care about anybody besides Luchasaurus and
yeah. I
don't have any friends.
I loved the fact that like they did the hug and it was like, oh, Agent Christian, and he was just like, go F yourself. And then that was it. It was like, oh, everyone was just like could feel it. Like the feels were there. Like, oh, Christian. I am liking his work at the moment. I do think he's really cool. Dude, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thanks for inviting me. It was fun just chatting about everything. I feel like at this.
Yeah. Well, I said this. I think I said this like after our last recording, and same thing with like the Pat Shaw recording, and these sons of come at the end saying, "Hey, what about this wrestling thing?" And you're like, "Why didn't you mention that on the recording? We could have had at least another half an hour talking about wrestling." But so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get him on it this time. I'm going to ask him a couple of wrestling questions, pick his brain.
We can do a WrestleMania predictions.
Ooh. Do you know what? We were looking to do Survivor Series, but I don't think we're going to get a chance before the show, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I love doing the predictions episodes. But yeah, we will 100% make something work, and we'll get you on for a predictions episode. Maybe do like an international, get like, because Pat watches as well, get him back on. Do international wrestling predictions. That would be pretty sweet. Before we get out of here, I will open up the floor to let you plug everything and anything you would like to plug, sir.
Sounds good. So I do videos on YouTube. I mainly like focus around Dash or mechanologist. Life has been busy. Release get a bit slow, but I'm soon having a data doll video, and I just had a Dash video. It's gonna be a data doll guide, more like not this is the deck, but why the deck, what's good, what's bad, and how to build it. And
Cool.
just because I feel like deck alone kind of doesn't say much, but it's easy to do, it's fast. So so my YouTube channel is Kappolo, Kappolo, and also the same username is on Twitter or X. You can find me there if you want to ask me any question. I'm like too active in there. I mean, not like actively active, but I'm in there often to check it out. I don't participate too much, but I'm always on there. So if you want to ask me any question, you can find me there.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, dude, again for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can catch us on Instagram at Big Boss Book Club. You can get us on X at Big Boss 010, and you can now get us on YouTube at Big Boss Book Club. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, like, video, whatever. Just any and all support is greatly appreciated. If you do subscribe to the Big Boss Book Club YouTube channel, you will also receive exclusive content thrown through your window, wrapped in hardcore pornography, so no one will know the disgusting content you're actually listening to. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Kappolo. I'm Big Boss, and we are out. Peace.